Welcome back to the garage, folks. Well, as promised, this time we are painting the inside of the car. Job is all done. I'm happy, but see what you think. One thing I have noticed, my garage is quite dusty, and when I come to paint the outside of the car, I'm definitely going to have to put some sort of plastic sheeting up around the place to stop that. Inside the car, not worried about it because it's all going to get covered up anyway, so it's just a matter of just chucking some white on there to make it look white. And all one colour, lovely. Painting in a tight confined space has an interesting effect on your white arm hairs, on your black arm hairs, which are now white. So now I understand why everybody wears big paper suits when they spray. So that's a lesson learned. And besides my mask, I was getting white ears as well, which my Mrs. Dave thought was hilarious. Righto, so the next step is to make this all white inside of here. I'm not going to worry too much about the door cappings for now, because I'll come back to that at a later date. But certainly the cappings around there. So the first thing to do is clean up some of this rust around here, and get some paint, get some seam sealer and some undercoat on the floor, some primer rather. Right, that's got rid of the worst of the rust. So between using the wire wheel and the paint stripping disc, got it back to this, and then I'll just be using some well-through primer to clean it up. And once that's on there and gone off, I'll go around then with the seam sealer to finish it off. Can of Halford's Finest well-through, covering that up. I'm not going to worry too much about masking it off, making it look pretty like I did for the engine bay, because I've said, you know, they're not going to see most of this, so it's just a matter of blast it on and squish it in. Alright then, let's get some seam sealing done. There we go, all seam sealed off and looking scabby. That's good enough for under the floor, and I've managed to get up underneath there through the bulkhead as well, so that's all nicely sealed off. Okay, so I've been sanding this back to get it flat and get all the, my intention was just to flat back the red and paint over that. But as soon as I put a sander on it, the red's flaking off, so I'll take it down to the white on the original primer of the car. I've yet to go up around those little short areas there, and that side to do as well. Right, there we go, that's all taken the flaky paint off of that, and some nasty glue that was all up the pillar there, which you can see on this side is yet to be done, and across the back of the parcel shelf there. What I've done then, I've done that with the nice new angry wheel in there, so it's nice and sharp, and that ripped the paint off in no time. Then just use me cheap orbital sander then just to put a nice scratch into it for the paint to key into. Ready for some primer. So that's all cleaned off in the back there. Both side door cappings are done. The floor's already ready to go and seam sealed up. So next step, chuck some epoxy. I was debating backwards and forwards whether I was going to put the epoxy on it, but I think it would be better in the long run, so I'm going to spray everything with epoxy in here. Just one coat of epoxy, then a coat of white. Right then, We are all masked off, all the holes there to stop the different colours finding their way back into the engine bay. I've also masked off the door and the rear quarter there for two reasons. I got there's a bit close proximity to my stuff, so I don't want to be spraying all my stuff over there, and of course I don't want to get paint on the door. So we are ready for some paint. I've also masked off the holes there as well, so hopefully the paint will stay where it's supposed to be going. Thankfully I've noticed this before I got too far. Just there is where I welded the strengthening struts across, and on that side, and there and here somewhere. So I need to grind those down. I'm glad I noticed them before I painted, but I'm still annoyed I didn't notice them before. I spent ages cleaning all this out and blowing the dust out and vacuuming it, because I'm about to make an almighty mess again. There's the 2K epoxy primer on there. I got it right up under the bulkhead, so happy with that. And all the floors covered. Window rear quarters are covered nicely, and the back. So I'm going to wait 24 hours now at least before I put the white coat on, so that'll be tomorrow's challenge after work. Let's see what we got. The big reveal. I'll get some light on it. It's not too bad. The camera's struggling to focus because it's glossy. Yeah, that's come out alright. Happy with that. I'm only going to do one coat in here. It's pointless getting too carried away and wasting paint. So, but that's gone on nice. No runs. No nasty. A few bits of dust in it, which I'd expect. Oh, lovely. Happy days. The bits that matter, the door tops around there, seem to be okay. So that's the only real visible bit, so I'm glad that's gone on nice with no runs or anything. Lovely. And the parcel shelf, a couple of bits probably shadowed there. I probably should have sprayed from this direction a little bit, but that's fine. I can live with that. Some of you guys ask, does it always rain there? Does this answer your question? And so far, I've got to say, I'm quite impressed with this little R500 gun. It's still spraying nice. I was spraying on a 1.7 tip, was probably a bit too big for this, but the paint was mixed fairly thick. You can see it in there. Well, that is starting to go off now, but so it's probably mixed thicker than most professionals would mix it. But it's gone on nice. I'm happy with it, and it's gone on easily. So, yep, thumbs up for that gun. Recommend that so far. And that's also good news. My masking tape's all come off and left the paint behind. So that's always a worry when you've painted something fairly recently, that the paint's going to stick and stay where it is. So that's encouraging. I've also had a little bodge about with a little Mazda. You can see it got horrendous lacquer peel. That was all over this wing, was like that. Done that with a rattle can from a local paint suppliers. Took them in to match the paint. Match isn't brilliant. It looks better on camera than it does. So that bit is a different colour anyway. But besides that, I'm going to end up doing the whole car. So if you're interested in watching me rattle can the car, let me know. Right, there we go. All done. All nice and white and shiny. I've got to say, it's 2K paint. It's the first time I've really used it in anger and used it in a spray gun and that. It sprays out very nicely. It's fairly easy to use, as long as you look after your lungs. And the shine on it is lovely. The paint looks like it's still wet, but it's definitely dry. It's well impressed with it. I'm quite looking forward to you having a go on the outside, if I'm honest. But I've got to calm down on that because I want to rebuild the car if I start messing up the outside of it. Because if I paint the outside now and get all impatient and get all that done, then I bash it or I'm putting it back together, I'll be very annoyed with myself as well as upset. So next challenge is the boot. Paint the boot. Once that's all painted, then I've got the dashboard to finish off and paint that, and then we can start putting the interior back together. So after that, I'll be able to play with headlinings and stuff like that. So yeah, not really sure which is the best way to go forwards if I'm on now, because I want to build the car up as much as I can and just leave the outside for painting. So again, let me know what you think. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Please share the video. Please like the video. All these things helps bump the video up the dreaded algorithm, because apparently it's not about your content, it's about what the algorithm thinks. So then the more you guys press the buttons, that makes the algorithm happy. And that makes me happy because my videos get bumped along. So brilliant. Thanks a lot. It's overwhelming.